He's on the board of FedEx. He said, when I walk one block
I
to
wonder
my
what
hotel, they won't allow me
you
to
could
do
do
it. They put
in
me in an
here.
armored
Pretty much
vehicle
nothing to do.
with bulletproof glass to take me one block.
I
He
don't know
said,
what
it's so
to do.
terrible. I said, let me ask you a question. So we're going to
Few
Memphis. I'm just
minutes
announcing that
later.
now, and we'll straighten that out. National Guard and anybody else we need.
People,
And by
can
the
you
way, we'll
turn
bring
on
in
the
the
light?
military too if we need it. But National Guard.
Hold on, there's
But
the
Memphis
switch.
is, look, it's a great music city. It's home of Elvis and everything else. But
There it is.
where
So what do
else
you think
should
we
we
should
go?
do?
So that was the president earlier this morning confirming that they're going to Memphis with federal resources and the National Guard to help that city crack down on crime. You'll see what the mayor had to say, which I thought was a professional response, by the way. And the troubling thing already about this, once again, is that only one side
What
of
the
the
heck was
political
that
spectrum in
sound?
the media wants to talk about it. That's why I have Ground News here on the screen. I encourage you to use a tool like Ground News like we do because we like to see what both sides are saying. And as you already know that we've seen, there just continues to be a full press propaganda operation with mainstream media. They don't want to tell people what's going on in our country, but we're going to help you guys see it. And Ground News will help us do that. Now, as I told you, 3% of the sources that lean right are reporting this, and 67% are in the center, and 0% lean left. Now, why won't these left-leaning sources talk about crime going down? I think I have an idea.
I mean, look, we do not want to see our community being impacted by the military, and we don't want to see overpolicing. And the solution to the problems that are being articulated is not to increase the number of police, it's to increase the number of resources to actually reduce poverty, to actually educate our population, our children, for the opportunities of the future, and if people have a living wage, so that some of the crimes that they commit, literally for the need to survive, do not happen. We know that gun violence is one of the most significant issues and epidemics in our country. I can speak of because children under 18 are most likely to die from a bullet than cancer or car accidents. That means the laws have to change at the state level. That Governor Bill Lee, Speaker Sexton, Lieutenant Governor Ron McNally need to work on to reduce the amount of access people have to firearms, and that reduces ultimately the amount of crimes that get committed. And you can't pass laws that say, hey, it's okay for you to have guns in your car, and then you complain about people breaking into cars for the firearms that they find there. We have to deal with the systemic root causes of the problems, and black communities should not be the place and the pawns for an authoritarian, wannabe dictator, white supremacist game. And that's what we're finding right now with Donald Trump and Bill Lee.
See, I don't know what world he's living in. He sounds like he's part of the Black Panthers, and this is in the 1960s or something.
One week.
What both sides of those two Americas are saying, especially in the media.
That
Now,
one
the other
week.
cool thing about this tool,
See if
it
it's
gives you
still
the bullet
there.
points of the story without the spin. For example, this decision comes after Tennessee Governor Bill Lee expressed on September 3rd that all options remain open for addressing local crime through the use of federal and state resources. If you guys want to get the full picture of what's being reported, use a tool like Ground News. So if you want to use this tool for yourself, all you have to do is go to ground.news/Devori, or you can download the mobile app. Just use promo code Devori, and it's going to give you access to everything that I showed you in this video, including 40% off the Vantage Plan.
So our resistance has to be vocal, it has to be clear, it has to be coordinated, and it has to show people that we are serious about defending our democracy. These are not benign acts. They are all intentional in an effort to let us...
Not illegal
His
aliens
whole
raping,
entire
committing
body got
pedophile
ripped
stuff,
in half.
and robbing
Well,
people,
not his whole entire body,
taking
but
away
his arm got
resources and
ripped
jobs,
off.
because we know the city has to fork out more money for illegal immigration. We talked about how Chicago spent $1.8 billion on illegal immigration, more than on veterans, more than education, and more on policing. Let's get real here. I'm telling you, this guy, he's living in a different America, that is for sure. But I do commend the way the mayor responded to this announcement. Here's more what he had to say.
Because one thing we do have in common.
Would you say
Yo,
that
what's this thing?
is accurate?
That was an overstatement. I am focused on the resources. FBI, DEA, ATF, those are the things that I believe will truly help us to support law enforcement and reduce violent crime. I do not support the National Guard. However, it's not the mayor's call.
supposed to respond when you disagree with the president. He's not bending the knee. He's not capitulating, as Kamala Harris would say. He's being a leader. And in times of crisis, especially when there are disagreements, is not the time to act like a child and talk about, oh, we're going to lose our democracy and our neighborhoods are going to be terrorized. It's, hey, let's see what we can get out of this. The federal government wants to use taxpayer dollars to help us out. Let's see how we can make this happen. That's the right mindset. Now, okay, so now we move to our second update. This is another story flying under the radar given the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We're talking about what happened today in Chicago. An ICE agent was almost run over by an illegal alien. He tried to kill him, and the ICE officer had to respond by shooting him.
Yeah, Martha, this happened part of the ongoing Operation Midway Blitz. DHS tells us that this morning, just outside of Chicago, in Franklin Park, a team of ICE officers stopped a criminal who allegedly has a history of reckless driving. And when ICE ordered him to get out of his car, he refused and tried
What
to
was
get away
going
by
to
driving
happen?
his car into the agents. He ended up hitting one of the officers who was afraid for his life as he was hanging onto the front of the car and
What is
dragged
this
for what
thing?
we're told is a significant distance until he was able to shoot the suspect.
Okay, when you're talking about the word terrorism, that your neighborhoods are being terrorized, and you got someone like this.
Dozens of activists were protesting outside of ICE's main processing center, trying to block
What
out
the
the
heck?
entrance to the
Where'd he
facility so that federal agents couldn't
I don't
bring
get
in
it. Where'd he
individuals who
go?
had been arrested.
It's
A
just
special
there.
response team had to be sent out to clear the driveway so that federal agents could once again get inside. And in the wake of this fatal encounter, ICE is calling out activists, saying viral social media videos and activists encouraging illegal aliens to resist law enforcement, not only spread misinformation, but also undermine public safety, the safety of our officers, and those being apprehended.
See, that's the thing is, when the left existence, they try to force this to not happen. They actually end up making things worse. If they would just work with the administration, they wouldn't have to make neighborhoods this way. ICE wouldn't have to operate this way because the local PD would already have arrested these people and they would just be handing them over. But they don't want to do that. They want to make it hard because they're trying to dig in on this whole political statement that what ICE is doing is terrorizing our neighborhoods. And that is just so far from the truth.
We don't know much about this man except what ICE has released. The spokesman from the Department of Homeland Security said in a statement that the individual was undocumented, was here illegally, and that he had a history of reckless driving. And that's basically it. We've not been able to find any kind of criminal record associated with this individual, and officials have not released any other information. All day, for the past several hours along this road, we saw FBI agents actually were out here collecting evidence. They are investigating the fatal shooting. But as of this morning, we had such little information, and that still stands at this point. Much of the scene has been cleared.
Now, as you can see, CNN is covering this story differently, right? It's almost as if they're trying to suggest that ICE was up to something nefarious because they haven't released additional information on the guy. What more information do we need? The guy was an illegal alien. They attempted to detain him like they're supposed to do and get him out of this country. He tried to fight back, tried to actually kill an ICE officer, and as a result, he shot the process. What more information do I need? But this is how CNN likes to cover stories. They always cast that doubt in our federal officials, especially law enforcement.
Yo, what's going on in here? Yo, who are you? Hello. Something happened. What happened? One of my friends got killed by this thing. What's the thing? I don't know. After an hour.
In these communities has been going on all week.
I sound like a broken record. Two different Americas. So they want us
Yo,
to
bro,
believe
what
that
happened to
there are
the
people
last?
feeling uneasy
Oh, there it
because
is.
illegal aliens are going to be detained and deported. But they don't feel uneasy about the existing crime, whether that is with gangs or what's always been going on with Chicago with these children killing each other. They don't feel uneasy about that. They don't feel uneasy about the lack of resources, especially the investment in education and policing because it's been going to illegal aliens. No, they feel uneasy because ICE is doing the job. I just find that so fascinating. All right, and so now we get to our latest update as it pertains to Charlie Kirk's shooter, also known as Tyler Robinson. More information has come out, including evacuating the homes around his house where he lived, and also some backlash from congressional leaders who are continuing to go out
like
there
white,
and say some disgusting
it's
things.
pale.
Let's start here.
This thing was like white, pale, and had bloody
So, yeah, that was a major
claws.
update earlier today, including now, just moments ago, the governor of Utah did an interview.
What? It
And
had
the bottom line here,
clear
he asked point
eyes,
blank, did Tyler Robinson act
sharp
alone?
teeth.
Here's what he
That's
said.
the only thing I can
Do
describe.
authorities believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone?
Yes, Brett. They're very confident right now. Obviously, the investigation is ongoing. They're still following every lead. We appreciate the public who has reached out. But every piece of evidence we have so far makes it very clear that the assassin acted alone.
Yeah, so that's what the governor had to say. I'm more inclined to believe what he is saying at this point until I see some more concrete evidence that contradicts that. You have these dumb conspiracies online talking about Israel was behind it. Can you show some proof to that, please? I mean, that's how delirious some people are at this point. I mean, they hate Israel that much. I'm not getting into that whole thing. I'm just telling you guys, that's what's floating around right now. Some people still think it was a professional hit. Who knows? But at this point, they have him in custody. They say he confessed. Family members brought him in. I mean, I don't know what else you want. Okay? Now, the governor also spoke to what he believes the true motive was behind all this. Take a look.
Yeah, well, with the big picture, I think it's pretty clear. This is someone who hated Charlie Kirk and hated his message and hated what he was doing and decided to use political violence to end his life. And that is, as I said earlier, that's not just an attack on Charlie Kirk, which is devastating. Our hearts are broken for him, for his family. Devastating. But it's the reason you're spending so much time on this, the reason everybody else is spending time on this, the reason I'm taking about this is that this is an assault on not just him, but on all of us. It is an assault on the very fabric of our country, our democratic republic, our ability to speak freely. And we cannot it is the most serious abdication of our responsibility as citizens that exists, and we have to snuff it out.
Yeah, see, hatred can get crazy things, some violence, some heinous things, and we've seen it. So, to believe that this kid is not capable of doing this, I think would be a little naive. Now, again, you guys can debate. Did Antifa support him in this way? Did they prep him? Did they train him? Did they provide him with the weapon and the means and the planning? That's possible. I'm likely to believe it based on the engravings on the cartridges, for sure. But bottom line is Charlie Kirk is gone. A country is grieving over this. It's a terrible loss, but we need to continue to push his legacy forward. We need to continue to get people to understand how to agree, to disagree, and we need to continue to impress upon the younger generation that they are going to be the leaders of the future. And they can make it happen. They can change our country around. And I think Charlie did a great job of that. Now, let's get to, I think, the most serious question of it all. Is the governor going to still seek the death penalty? Take a listen.
Today, President Trump said there should be quick trials in some circumstances, and this could be one of them. Do you believe, if convicted, Tyler Robinson will face the death penalty in your state?
Well, certainly we are going to be seeking the death penalty. I said that before. We're working with the prosecutors as well to get that information ready so that they can pursue that. What I will also say is that very strongly that the victims play a role in these conversations. And so, the prosecutor will be having conversations with Charlie's family. I always worry that they get lost in all this, and I want to make sure that in these conversations it's not about me. It really is about the family and Erica and their kids and Charlie's parents, his sister, all of the family that
Traffic.
Continue to disgusting. Sometimes you just don't have to. I remember my mother used to tell me, "You know, nothing else is why it's hard. I really have a problem with that, but for some people out there, I just believe they just.
What the?
But for some people out there, I suppose they
Oh,
just
this
can't
thing
help
is slippery.
themselves.
What the?
Saying this about political rhetoric that is turning violent.
Ooh,
Saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous, but you cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they
That is continuing to talk about a lot of Democrats and Republicans. They're now shifting to the idea that, hey, really turn into violence. We are not responsible for that. We don't think that's ever going to happen.
Thing just collapsed.
Your favorite Congresswoman, Jasmine Ghetto Crockett, said that this morning on the Breakfast Club. Take a look.
We've got to talk about like what it means when you're running for president or you're running for one of these higher offices and you go out there and you talk about beating people up. You go out there and you say things like, I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street in New York and I could still win. We got to talk about like that is next level. Me disagreeing with you, me calling you, I want to be Hitler. All those things are like not necessarily saying go out and hurt somebody. But when you're literally telling people at rallies, yeah, beat them up and that kind of stuff, like you are promoting like a culture of violence. So we need to talk about like what it looks like when you don't promote a culture of violence.
People like her need a lesson on mindset, particularly the way the actual mind works, the intellect, the difference between somebody's conscious mind and subconscious mind, how they receive information, especially through repetition. And what she is failing to realize is when she speaks those words, she may not actually be meaning physical harm. But for the person who hears it, their belief system has led them to receive it in a way that means physical harm. That's just something that they don't understand. And instead of taking responsibility, they would rather say, well, hey, it's not really our responsibility. It's really not our fault. That's on them. No, you're the one in front of a microphone. There are consequences to
What
the
is in
words
this
that come
guy's
out of your
pocket?
mouth. There's no question about it.
This guy's an assault rifle?
Charlie Kirk's murder. Well, now they
Let's
being taught a
go.
lesson. School districts are now punishing teachers who, believe it or not,
This is
have
a more
been
powerful
celebrating
gun.
the assassination online. In Greenville, South Carolina, Southside High School social studies teacher Wynn Bullock, well, he was fired after posting this, quote, thoughts and prayers to his children, but IMHO, America became better today. There, I said it. In Framingham, Massachusetts, King Elementary Special Ed teacher Samantha Marsh posted this video of himself singing God Bless America and dancing with the Television News report plays the report about that was shown in the background, and at one point you saw she zoomed in on the word dead. That video has since been deleted. The district would not comment on this claim status, particularly they are addressing the situation, quote, as a district, we are committed to fostering a safe and respectful environment for everyone. We do not condone violence or hateful behavior in any form. Massachusetts school arts leaders put on leave after allegedly posting comments also. The school district saying it is investigating too. Meanwhile, down in Florida, the Florida Department of Education says that teachers will lose their jobs if they post offending remarks. Teachers do have a personal First Amendment right. The board says the view should, quote, students and families that they serve, and such posts, the board says, could state law.
And that's why I posted this and it came from a post on Twitter for 2016. You can tell a lot about a person by how they react when someone dies. It speaks to their character, their state of mind, their belief system, the way they see the world. It pretty much tells you where they're at. And the fact that you have a part of this country who is celebrating this, that right there is hard. That right there is a sick evilness within our country. And the only way to solve it is through love. That's what those people need to exercise. They need to change their hatred to understanding. And at least at the very basic level, even if you don't understand what the other side is saying, just agree to disagree. Hey, sometimes you don't have to pull your feelings out on social media.
The President of the United States, I know what you're asking, was trying blame entirely to one party. When you know the facts show, it's sadly, people claiming affiliation with both left and right, have committed horrible acts of violence.
Sure, but you know what? If the roles were reversed,
A few years later.
so they say Republicans need to tell people on their side to calm down. I have not seen a significant number of Democratic leaders calling for people on their side to calm down.
Are people applauding this? That's insane.
But that's actually not true.
Sitting lawmakers.
Yeah, sitting lawmakers, Democrats, almost immediately, and I think they felt a pressure to make sure they were very clear not to condone this.
From his view, he's going to start. What's the best way forward?
This man was killed. By what though? He has multiple. He has like his clothes ripped.
But that's not enough. I mean, I'm not certain if our society today necessarily.
I'd say claw marks.
For guidance. I think we gotta have some
There is multiple stab wounds inside of his head. Also, there's a dead. There's a dead park ranger over here.
That exchange represents exactly what the problem is. Michael is calm, collective, articulate, just trying to explain his point in a very calm manner.
It's been there
She's
for
over there talking
years.
over him, trying to interrupt him. I mean, if we can't even have a basic exchange of ideas and dialogue,
Seems like its head
in a very calm manner, how are we ever going to get anywhere? It's just so interesting to me.
Besides, looks like there was a house
They
here
say that conservatives
that got
are the problem,
destroyed.
President Trump is the problem.
This man was
They're
also
always
a
cutting conservatives off when he sees
revolver.
mainstream media. I show you these clips all the time.
And
But
I
at the end of
also
the day,
saw
it is
like
true. It's at the individual
I also
level
saw
where we
like
can
a
truly create
assault
change. It starts
rifle.
with you, it starts with me. We got to be the change we want to see. That's why we produce the show the way that we do it.
Yeah.
From day one, I always wanted to be like, hey, I
I'm
don't
gonna
want to
have
be divisive. I don't want to be on the fringe stuff. I don't want to be in conspiracies. I want people to think for themselves. I want to do it in a very calm, collective way. I want to agree to disagree. And I want to encourage people to do the same. So that's why we do it this way. Now, the White House posted this clip as a tribute to Charlie Kirk. And I want to play for you so you can end this video off on a good note. Take a look.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love Him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember, it is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here today.
Do you know how old is your heart? A heart attack can happen to anyone at any time.
Hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
Yep, that's a phenomenal video. There's way more to it. But I want to leave you guys off with this because I want to get your reaction in the comment section below. We have crime issues in this country. We have illegal immigration issues in this country. We have culture issues in this country. There's no shortage of issues in this country. But instead of always trying to focus on the issue and blame the other side for it, why don't we focus on the solutions and try to find some middle ground with that? I don't understand why if we don't set that intention, why we couldn't accomplish something like that. We can. We've seen it time and time again in this country throughout all of our history. And in order to do it, we got to set the example, and I believe we are setting the example. And I want to thank you for always supporting this show as we continue to do that. Now, let's hear from you guys in the comment section below. Clearly, the Memphis mayor got the memo. He has responded in a very professional way. He also disagrees with National Guard, but do you see how he did it? Let me know if you see it the same way. Also, this ICE officer who was almost killed today, but hey, it's ICE that's actually terrorizing the neighborhood, not the criminal legal aliens, right? That's what Democrats want us to believe. Let me know your guys' reactions to everything we discussed in this video in the comment section. Now, in our next video, in case you were too busy earlier this morning, not only did they apprehend the shooter, but he also confessed. And the way he ended up getting into the custody of these authorities is very interesting, by the way, and you're going to want to pay attention to that. So if you missed out on that, including more stories from earlier today, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.
So much. Flash. Oh, I found it. Okay.
Let's start with the fascinating revelations
These.
about how much the Democrats are paying mindless.
Okay, take those weapons. Make sure you put them.
Today's video and breaking news: Erica Kirk.
This problem is solved here. All we gotta do is take this back to the base. Maybe we'll somehow get more information out of this.
Like the year before, she was reluctant simply to let the translator run.
They know they've missed the island, gone past it. They don't know which side. They have no way of knowing. They have to take a radio bearing. So Amelia does the only thing she can. 20 hours and 13 minutes into the flight, Amelia sends her last message. Her voice is talking very rapidly and very tense.
137. The repeat message. We will repeat this message on 6210.
In her final radio message, Amelia said she was switching frequencies to 6210 kilocycles. The tasker could not reach her on that frequency. They assumed that Amelia, once again unfamiliar with emergency radio procedure, had turned her radio dial to the wrong setting. Frantically, the tasker tried other